Hi, I'm Diana. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I talk a lot about how style can change your life. But today I really want to talk about a problem, the rise of same face culture. Everyone's aiming for the same face. Through tweakments, treatments, all sorts of makeup applications, we're all aiming for the same face. When I say we, I'm including myself, I'm sure that there are things that I do where I'm aiming for that same thing that I don't even realize. So why all of a sudden do all of the celebrities look the same? I looked at a magazine cover just a few years ago when this started, and I couldn't tell if I was looking at J-Lo, Beyonce, Kim Kardashian. Like, I couldn't tell who I was looking at. I had to look at the caption to see who it was because everyone has been aiming for the same face. What happened to unique beauty? We're looking at the rise of same face and the loss of iconic beauty. That if you just look even a little bit back into maybe the 90s, okay, let's take the 90s for example, and take a look at the supermodels of the era. Let's just take a little niche part of society, the supermodels. And I can't say like it was the most diverse time, okay? We're not talking about that. But what we're going to talk about is if you take a good hard look at these faces that we held up as the ultimate beauties, they were all so different. They were like a box of supermodel chocolates that you could pick and choose each one. They were so unique looking that you never mistook one for the other. And I think that's really what we liked about that group of supermodels is that they were all so unique. They were beautiful, but they were all unique. Now we're in a place where many young women do not like the face they were born with and they don't see the value in it. This is a huge problem because not all of us have the means for treatments and tweakments, and not all of us want to do it. I don't participate in it. In fact, when I first started this channel a couple years ago and I started to get on camera, I started to notice all of the things that weren't symmetrical on my face. It's very glaringly obvious when you sit down to edit a video of your face and you go, oh, I didn't know about that. And it took me a little bit of getting over it. But once I embraced my crooked mouth and lots of other things, I decided that that's what really made me me. One of my favorite quotes is I'm going to look it up. It's by Joss Whedon, and it says, whatever makes you weird is probably your greatest asset. And I have known this quote for a while, but I didn't truly believe it until I decided that what made my face and my mannerisms weird was what made me unique. And when we decide that those things are not valuable, then we've lost our value. We've lost what makes us unique. It's really just a decision, honestly. You either decide to dive into your uniqueness or you run away from it. And I feel like there's a lot of young women running away from it these days. I was looking at these pictures of supermodels and I was looking at Claudia Schiffer, and I noticed that she had really heavy eyelids and her eyes were almost downturned because of it. But she was considered to be an iconic beauty. I just don't think that would happen these days. I think somebody would get a hold of her as a young woman and say, as soon as you get your, what's that called? Blepharoplasty, I don't know, where they cut your eyelids out so that you have more eyelids showing, because that's what we're all aiming for. Somebody would have gotten a hold of that young woman and cut her heavy lids out, and she would have been someone completely different. And I was also noticing the rest of the supermodels, instead of having these fox like eyes that are snatched, I saw lots of really round eyes, downturned eyes. I saw strong noses, rounder, wider noses. These are all completely natural and normal faces that in the 90s we thought were great. And then today, all we can see is how to fix them. If we didn't have people who dove into their uniqueness, we wouldn't have people like Frida Kahlo, Grace Jones, Jackie Kennedy, Sophia Loren, Ella Fitzgerald. Like, you look at pictures of these people, you know exactly who they are. And maybe that's not the most diverse list of people either. I'm just saying that these are the people at the forefront of my mind when I think of iconic beauty, unique people. Let me just read this. Iconic is distinctive, distinctive characteristics, widely recognized. The only way that we can be widely recognized and uniquely distinctive is if there's something different in there. And it's not necessarily better or worse, it's just different. And when we're all aiming for same face, we are erasing what's different. I think it's important that we understand, how did we get here? So if you think about when radio began, whatever was on the radio was what everybody was listening to, and that's what was popular. And the same thing with music videos on MTV when that was new. And now social media is new and everybody's fed the same thing. And unfortunately, it's same face and you can fix yourself. That's what our young women are receiving. So as long as we are aware that it's not really their fault, but they can make choices. We can all make choices to embrace our own uniqueness because it really is our value. It's really important to becoming exactly who we are. Nobody else can be us. Nobody else can be you. Unless you set out to erase everything that was unique about you, everything your ancestors gave to you in your genetics, and start to see yourself as an icon in the making. Start to see your unique beauty as your greatest asset.